Hey everyone, today's practice is going to be light and fun. We'll do some variations of some poses that we typically do, but with a little twist to them. So go ahead and join me by coming down onto your mat, and we'll start in corpse pose. So making your way onto your back. Your feet can stay flat on the mat, or feel free to let the legs go out long. And we're going to take a 3-part breath here. So you imagine the breath coming up the belly, the ribs and chest, and on the exhale, it comes out the same exact way it went in. So let's try it together. Taking a super deep inhale, breath rises up through the belly, ribs, and chest. And then we exhale, releasing from the chest, ribs, and belly. Try that a couple more times. Deep inhale, filling up the belly. Breath and energy rises up through the ribs and chest. And then we exhale out the chest, ribs, and belly. Let's try it one more time. Great big inhale, coming up the belly, ribs, chest. And then you exhale out of the chest, ribs, and belly. Great. From here, I invite you to go ahead and bring the knees to your chest here. And we'll start just by taking some knee circles. Now, if it's super uncomfortable to hold right here on the knees, you can hold behind your hamstrings or use your yoga pants to help you by grasping onto them. Taking some circles here, and then go ahead and switch the direction. Great. From here, keep that right leg hugged in. Extend the left leg out, half wind release pose. And then go ahead and switch, extending out the right leg. Left knee hugs in this time. Taking an inhale. And on the exhale, sending both of the knees to the chest. Wind release pose one more time. Before bringing the soles of the feet together in a reclined bound angle here. Taking a moment here just to find stillness. If it's super uncomfortable for the legs to be hanging in this diamond formation, feel free to send the legs out long instead. Taking an inhale and exhale. One more inhale. And on the exhale, go ahead and bring the knees together, and we're going to rock and roll our way up. So if you're like, what the heck do you mean by that? We're going to play around with coming up and back down. Maybe you roll on the side and come up. Maybe you roll on the back. If you're like, girl, I'm not doing that, you can always use the hands to help you rock back and forth. I told y'all we're gonna play today, so give yourself permission to just let go and have fun. If you're like, this is not my idea of fun, I'm a former gymnast and cheerleader, so this type of stuff, I eat it up. So just rocking and rolling, maybe going side to side. Taking one more rock and roll, and then finally coming up to a comfortable seated position. Now, if you're not cussing me out by now, don't worry, we won't be rocking and rolling the entire time. So from here, we'll take just a chest opener. So I invite you to bring the hands either just behind you or clasp the hands together, lifting up the chest here. Taking an inhale and exhale it on out. One more inhale. And on the exhale, I invite you to meet me in a tabletop position. We're going to create some more energetic flow of movement, but we won't be rocking and rolling. We'll take cat, cow, and sink into child's pose and do those a couple times. So when you're ready, I invite you to join me. Taking an inhale, drop the belly, gaze comes up. And exhale, rounding the spine, chin to chest for a cat. And this time we inhale, sinking back into child's pose. Taking an inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. This time we inhale, dropping the belly through cow. And exhale, rounding the spine, chin to chest for cat. And we inhale, sinking back to child's pose, wide leg. Taking an inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. This time we inhale, pressing up through cow, dropping the belly. And exhale, rounding the chin to chest. And we sink back to child's pose again. Taking an inhale and exhale. One more inhale and exhale. Last time, inhale, pressing through cow. And exhale, rounding the chin to chest for cat. Then go ahead and return to a neutral tabletop position, and we're going to take some hip circles. Now, if the tabletop position doesn't feel good on your wrists, feel free to come up onto the knees and do hip circles. But if you're on the tabletop, feel free to join me, creating circles with your hips over to the right side. And then go ahead and switch directions here. Great, from here we're coming up tall on the knees, sending the right foot out for gate pose. So we slide the hand down the right leg and lean over here. Taking an inhale. And on the exhale, we're making our way into a low crescent lunge here. Sinking into that crescent lunge. Taking an inhale. Bringing the hand to the top of the thigh and then go ahead and twist, pressing into that right thigh, looking over the right shoulder. Taking an inhale. And on the exhale, slowly making our way back into that gate position. Taking an inhale. And on the exhale, we'll switch legs here. Left leg comes out long, gate pose. We slide the hands down, leaning over to the left side. Taking an inhale. On the exhale, slowly turn our bodies, making our way into a low crescent lunge here. Left hand comes on the top of the left thigh and press into that thigh, creating a twist here. Taking an inhale. And on the exhale, slowly returning back to that gate position. And then we'll make our way back onto coming up tall on both knees. Now from here, we're going to take what's called frog pose. So you have a couple ways you can do this. You can do half frog, which I'll demonstrate it first. You essentially keep the right leg out, creating almost like a 90-degree shape. It's a hip opener. And you can bring the hands out in front, over top of the head, or you could bring them underneath of the head, making a pillow. If you're super flexible in your hips, you might be able to do full frog, which means you'll just bring your knees outside of your mat and then slowly bring your forearms down into the mat. So decide which one feels best for you. I'm going to take half frog. You feel free to take either one. Bringing that right leg up, it almost makes a 90-degree shape. Taking an inhale. And exhale. One more inhale. And on the exhale, we're switching legs. If you took half frog with me, left knee comes up this time. If you took full frog, sink back into a child's pose for a moment, then go ahead and hop back into it. And half frog, we're hanging out here, taking an inhale and exhale. One more inhale. And on the exhale, go ahead and zip both of the legs together. Make your way onto your belly. We'll take Sphinx pose. So we zip the knees and the legs together, bringing the hands just in front of us here. And we inhale, lifting up, getting a stretch through that upper back. Gaze is looking up at the ceiling. Taking an inhale. And on the exhale, go ahead and come down, bringing the left ear down to the mat. Taking an inhale. On the exhale, we'll take that Sphinx again, an option to bend the knees this time to get more of a stretch. Taking an inhale. And on the exhale, right ear comes down to the earth this time. Now, instead of Sphinx, you can continue to do one more Sphinx, or you can take Locust Pose with me. The only difference is you lift up the chest and you lift up the legs at the same time. So if you're taking Lotus with me, take one big inhale and lift the chest, lift the legs. And then exhale, releasing it all back down to the ground here. Taking an inhale. And on the exhale, press up through a tabletop position, making your way into Child's Pose here. Taking a couple of breaths here. And when you're ready, coming through tabletop position for a moment, just as we make our way onto our butts. From here, we'll take boat pose. I'll show you what the options are. You can decide which one feels best for your body today. You can do boat with both of the heels on the ground. You can lift up the hands or bring the hands down. So option 1, heels on the ground. Option 2, heels lifted. Option 3, legs extend, hands extend. So you decide which one feels good for you today. So when you're ready, we'll take an inhale and exhale. On the next inhale, we lift into whatever variation of boat pose feels good for you. If you really want to fire up your core, feel free to take some toe taps here. If not, you can hang out in boat. Taking an inhale. And exhale, releasing out of that boat pose, sitting the legs out long and taking a forward fold here. Taking an inhale. And on the exhale, slowly coming back up, we'll take a twist. I invite you to bring the right sole of your foot to the mat and then cross it over your left leg. We send the right arm up and behind us to create a twist. If you're super flexible, you can use that left elbow to really deepen the twist, but there's no need for all of that. If you have a twist and it feels good, feel free to stay with me. Taking an inhale, and on the exhale, we'll slowly untwist this time. Left sole of the foot comes to the mat, and we cross over our right. Left arm goes up and around, creating a twist here. Taking an inhale and exhale. One more inhale. And on the exhale, we slowly unwind and make our way back onto our backs. I'm going to take a bridge pose, so if you have a block nearby, feel free to use it. If not, don't sweat it. Once the soles of the feet are on the ground, bringing the hands flat on the earth as well, palms touching the mat. We take a great big inhale and exhale. And on the next inhale, go ahead and lift the hips up here for a bridge pose. Taking an inhale. And on the exhale, slowly bringing the hips back down to the earth. Option to stay here with the soles of the feet on the earth in constructive rest pose, or send your legs out long into corpse pose as we take our final position of Shavasana. If you can stay in this position longer, I invite you to do so. But if you need to get going with your day, go ahead and wiggle the fingers and toes, bringing some awareness back into the body. And when you're ready, slowly rolling onto your side, bringing the knees up into the fetal position. Take one more inhale together and exhale it out. And when you're ready, slowly, slowly, slowly make your way back to a comfortable seated position. Once you are in that seated position, I invite you to bring the palms together at hand center or heart center. We'll inhale, bringing the hands up, and exhale as we rain them down, coming back to the palms to meet together at hands, heart center. Inhale the arms up, and exhale, rain them down. Hands come back to meet last time. Inhale the arms up, and exhale, bringing the palms to meet. Taking one last inhale, and exhale it all out. Thank you for sharing your practice with me today.